Hello and welcome to Parkessent. My name is Jake, and today we're going to be talking about Flamingo Land, and more specifically, when is Flamingo Land going to open a new roller coaster? Now, Flamingo Land is currently home to 10 roller coasters, and the most recent of those is Sick, which opened in 2022, an Intamin 10 inversion coaster. The previous coaster to that was Hero, a fantastic coaster which opened to rave reviews. Mm, anyway, up until 2013, a whole 9 years before Sick. Now, 9 years might seem like a long time, but if you take into account that Sick was originally meant to open in 2022, but was delayed due to COVID and then due to financial troubles with the park, then a 7 year gap in coasters isn't as bad as it sounds. Now, Flamingo Land, as I said, is currently home to 10 coasters. Those coasters are listed from oldest to newest: Dino Roller, which opened in 1988, Go Gator, which opened around 1990, Velocity, opening in 2005, Kamali, which opened in 2006, Mumbo Jumbo of 2009, Zoom, which opened in 2011, Twistosaurus, which opened in 2013, Hero, which also opened in 2013, Runaway Mine Train, which reopened in 2020, more on that in a minute, and Sick, which opened in 2022. Now, I say about the Runaway Mine Train because the Runaway Mine Train originally opened in 2007 and then closed in 2019. It's unknown at the moment on RCDB whether this is with the current Runaway Mine Train. It's the same as the old one, but it definitely is. That is incorrect on the website that I'm currently taking my data off, which is rollercoasterdebate.com. That aside, Flamingo Land has been home to some fantastic coasters in the past. Less so now, uh, but there's no denying that that there's a rich history of great coasters. I mean, the first of these fantastic coasters to open was Crazy Loop back in 1986. Now, Crazy Loop was the start of a new era at the park. It was a Pinfari pre-Zyklon model, which featured one inversion, a chain lift hill, and a couple of turns, which might not seem particularly exciting nowadays, but at the time it was pretty revolutionary, and it was the only of its kind in the UK. And fast forward 4 years to 1990, where the Flamingo Land opened the infamous Corkscrew coaster. Now, Corkscrew would go on to operate all the way up until 2011. It was a Vekoma Corkscrew model. It was the first coaster at the park to feature two inversions at a height of 75 feet, drop of 68 feet, and a top speed of 40 miles an hour, making it the biggest coaster that the park's ever had up until that point. Now, the year after, as a lot of people will lovingly remember this coaster, was the Bullet, which sat on the current site of Kamali, the park's newer coaster. Now, the Bullet operated from 1991 to 2005, reaches a top speed of 50 miles per hour and a height of 131 feet. Now, this makes it the fastest roller coaster that the park had at the time, and also by far the most exciting. It's also the tallest, with about a 50-foot edge over the Bullet. Over Corkscrew. Now, the Bullet was also manufactured by Pinfari. Sorry, it wasn't. It was manufactured by Schwarzkopf. Sorry, I get my notes wrong. It was a shuttle loop coaster, meaning after that it was launched forwards out of the station, completed the circuit, went around the track, and then went up into a spike, and then down the spike out before completing the layout for a second time, but this time backwards. It was a very unique coaster, and I know it's one that a lot of people hold very dear to their hearts. Also in 1991, opened Thunder Mountain, which was a Infari Zyklon model in closed. It's the only indoor coaster the park has ever had. It didn't feature any inversions, and it looks very interesting. I don't know anyone who went on Thunder Mountain, so if you were lucky enough to experience this coaster back in the day, please let me know down in the comment section below. I'd love to know what you thought and how it was a good. Yeah, you know what I mean. Now, moving on to a coaster that opened in 1997, and a coaster that I remember personally, the Wild Mouse operated Flamingo Land from 1997 to 2012, and was a fantastic coaster. It's not a unique coaster. There were hundreds and hundreds of this specific model out there. It was manufactured by Malva. It's obviously a Wild Mouse, classic Wild Mouse layout. It was at 49.3 feet tall, reached a top speed of 28 miles an hour, and it was vastly better than the coaster they put it in its place. More on that in a minute. The Wild Mouse was a fantastic coaster, offering decent sized family thrills, and was one of my, well, it was for a long time was my favourite roller coaster, which makes me even more angry that they removed it in place of Hero. The next coaster to open at the park opened in 1998, which was the Flying Trapeze. It lasted just 3 years. It was a 0 4-man bob coaster, reached a height of 21.3 feet, and from the pictures looks extremely boring. After that was Magnum Force, which opened in 2000 and operated through to 2005. Was the first coaster at the park to, wow, groundbreaking stuff here. Had 3 inversions, reached a top speed of 53.4 miles an hour. It had a height of 108.3 feet and a length of 3,379 feet, which makes it the longest coaster at the park at the time. As well as the fastest. Now, it was manufactured by Schwarzkopf. It was a standard triple loop layout. It was a very popular model at the time. It wasn't particularly exciting. Well, it would have been exciting, but it wasn't unique in any way. There was a lot of this kind of model on the traveling circuit for a while, and then more of this type of coaster started popping up in other places. Now, believe it or not, those 9 coasters I've just listed and talked about are the only coasters that have operated at Flamingo Land that aren't still there. Now, it's perhaps not due to their impeccable maintenance cycle that all these coasters have. You know, they've got 10 coasters at the moment. They've lost 8 in the past, 7 if you don't include the runaway mine train glitch, but more than that, I'll talk about that another day. I understand the need to preserve heritage and to take into account that if these rides aren't, if there's nothing wrong with them, then there's no need to replace it. But the park, unfortunately, has felt very. The coaster lineup has grown to feel a little bit stale. I know they had Sick open in 2022, which is an okay ride at best. It's not a fantastic attraction, and it's certainly not the attraction you'd want to headline your park's lineup.
Arms and
With all
legs
that in mind, I'm
inside
going to
the
move on to
carriage.
what I think we could see in the
For your
future. Now,
safety,
2025 is obviously a great year for the park with the reopening of the Lost River ride. Check out the playlist on the channel if you want to see updates on that. And obviously the meeting area will be pretty substantial. I think there is definitely space for a coaster in that area of the park. You can see them opening a family coaster in 2026, potentially. Exactly what
For
that
your
model will
safety,
be,
please remain
that I
seated and
wouldn't
keep your
wish to
arms and
think.
legs
Maybe
inside the
they'll open a
carriage.
new Wild Mouse. I need to get over the Wild Mouse thing, so. Or could we potentially see something bigger? I can see Flamingo Land investing in a wooden coaster at some point in the future. I think the space, which is currently occupied by the Sea Lion building with an aquarium, I think if you were to remove that building, then that leaves a big plot of land that you could potentially use for a GCI, such as similar to the likes of Wicker Man, if the budget would allow it. I think that would be a fantastic investment for the park. Not like a clone copy of Wicker Man, but something similar would definitely be an interesting investment. I think I can see them investing in an indoor coaster, potentially in a similar space, or even move around to where Mischief Mansion is, and that ride eventually, and I can see that show building in that space for an indoor coaster. Also, there's a pretty large outdoor area that's currently not used for anything other than picnic benches to the left of where you enter Mischief Mansion in its current state. And I think that provides a brilliant space for an indoor/outdoor experience coaster, similar to the one that's potentially coming to Chessington in the next couple of years, but more on that in another video. I think that'll be a really great fit for the park. Please let me know what you think. Well, what do you think the future is for Flamingo Land in Yorkshire? Do you think we could go for maybe even 10 years without seeing another coaster? Do you think it'll be another 7 years? Do you think the next coaster we see will be in 2029, which seems like a long way away? What do you think? Please let me know in the comment section down below. Thank you very much for watching. My name's Jake, and you've been watching Parkessent. Thank you.